So welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I will be reviewing Happy Death Day to You. Now, Happy Death Day to You, this is the follow-up to part 1, obviously. This one deals with the multiverse and time loops and all that. It's very fun, it's very entertaining. Now, which one do I enjoy more? Part 1 or this one? It's really hard to say which one I enjoy. I think they're both equally fun and entertaining. This one has a lot of laughs. This one really isn't a horror movie. Yes, it has horror elements. Yes, it has slasher elements. But to me, it's more of a sci-fi comedy mixed in with horror and slasher elements, but it's more of a sci-fi comedy. And I really don't mind the sci-fi, and I think most of the jokes work and they land. You know, even though, like, I love this sequel, even though I love this sequel, it's a good sequel, it's well made, I don't, I kind of feel like Happy Death Day could have been a standalone movie in a lot of ways. And, when you go back and watch Happy Death Day, they kind of, it just comes off as a standalone movie. Like, it just comes off as a standalone movie. But we got Happy Death Day 2, and this one is just as good as the original. Just as good. You get to know more about Tree's friends and all that. So I thought that was really good. There's also a end credit scene which plays into part 3. Hopefully we get a part 3. Hopefully we do get a part 3. I think a lot of people forgot about that end credit scene on Happy Death. I feel like a lot of people did forget about that end credit scene. I feel like a lot of people forgot about that end credit scene, but there is an end credit scene. I'm not gonna spoil it. Try not to spoil this movie too much if you haven't seen it. But Happy Death Day 2 does deal with a lot of emotional things. It does deal with a lot of emotion. Has a lot of, it does have a, can't talk. As much comedy as there is in this movie, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of drama in this movie. And I feel like everything's balanced. You know what I mean? I feel like everything's balanced and it's handled with care and it's handled properly. Like, you feel for Tree, like you feel for her. You feel like you're in her shoes and you have to make, the decision with her. You know what I mean? I just like that. Like, the writers, took time to make you feel for Tree. They took time to make a good sequel. They didn't make a sequel just to make it. They made a good sequel, in my opinion. I'm glad the sequel happened, but watching these two movies back to back, because I did watch these back to back, it just kind of, feels like the first one could have just been a standalone, because that's what it kind of feels like it was aiming towards. But I feel like this one, they kind of accepted, that it was going to be a big hit. Sadly, this one wasn't a big hit. That's why it's taking so long for part 3. I find it so crazy, though, like, that this one didn't, get enough money at the box office. And I feel like one reason is, it could be the tone. Again, like I said, as much as I love the wildness of this movie, how fun and entertaining that it is, the whole premise and concept of this movie is something that you will do in your 3rd movie or your 5th movie. You look at a lot of franchises like Nightmare on Elm Street. When did they started going fun and, just a little bit out there? In the 3rd one, Bride of Chucky, the 4th one in, they went a little bit out there. Halloween, the Halloween franchise, the 6th installment, they went a little bit out there. You know what I mean? So again, as much as I love this ideal and premise, this is something that they should held on to for the 3rd or 5th movie, little ways in, But I do feel like it was kind of brave to do this concept and premise as the 2nd movie in, and I wish it paid off for them, so we could have got a 3rd one way sooner. But I think a lot of people forget that this movie came out last year. Yeah, this movie came out last year. So if we do get a part 3, we're not going to, hear any, oh, it's officially announced until 2022. I think people kind of forget that this one is still, relatively new. So, as much as we want a big announcement, I don't think we're going to get an announcement for a while for part 3. They are in talks to do a part 3, and I'm very curious, will the end credit scene be canon and carry on over, like that be the opening of part 3? I'm very curious to know. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Happy Death Day to you? Let's have a full discussion in the comments. I think that's the funnest thing about these two movies, is the whole debate. You know, like, I consider the first one more in the lines of like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Bride of Chucky, where it is a slasher, but it's almost more as a background type of thing. And this one is just a straight comedy sci-fi, which I totally don't mind. But point is, I want to have a full discussion in the comments below with you guys. Do you prefer part 1 or part 2? And are you excited about a part 3 possibly happening in the next year or 3? And yeah, I just really want to have a discussion. Do you think this franchise is a slasher franchise? I don't think. Is it a horror franchise? The first one is a horror movie, but this one just has horror elements and slasher elements. You know, you kind of look at it as spoof movies, and you can kind of have a debate with that. You know, is Scary Movie a horror movie? Most certainly, most definitely not. You know what I mean? So I just find these movies so interesting to talk about. But yeah, Happy Death Day 2. I gave the original a 10 out of 10. I'm going to have to give this one a 10 out of 10 as well. Really enjoyed. There's some funny, iconic moments in this movie. They really stepped up their game with iconic moments, and some baby faces in this as well. Really good twist. It almost reminds me of like a Scream type of twist, like a Scream type of twist. I like that. Just fun and entertaining. Really love Happy Death Day to You. Very excited to see where they carry on for part 3, but kind of worried for part 3. But yeah, make sure you smash the like button, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's have a full discussion in the comments below. Do you prefer part 1, part 2? Are you excited about a part 3 possibly in the works? From can't talk. Most certainly it is in the works, because I think in that update video that I did, they said like they had a script written and everything like that. I believe, not sure. Yeah, let's have a full discussion about these two movies. Are they considered a slasher franchise? I don't think they are, but yeah. Make sure you smash the like button, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next video.